You're listening to Be Kind, Rewind with Tim Nydell, taking you back to when movies were actually good.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
When music wasn't auto-tuned. When TV only had a few channels. And now, here's your host, Tim Nydell.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to a brand spanking new episode of Be Kind Rewind with Tim Nydell. You can find me online. It's timnydell.com. You'll find all my links on there, my Instagram, my Twitter, my YouTube. I would appreciate all the follows, especially if you can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just type in Tim Nydell. I'd really appreciate that. And of course, Be Kind Rewind is brought to you by the fine folks over at Fenix Media. Please check out their website, fenixmedia.us. It's Phoenix with an F. You can learn more about our show here and the other podcasts on the network. And of course, learn about the advertising that we have to offer. So instead of hearing the commercials you hear in between our breaks, you'll hear your very own commercial. Again, just check out phoenixmedia.us for all the information. For today's episode of Be Kind Rewind, I thought I would do something a little different. No interviews, not really going back talking about old retro TV shows or movies, but I am going to talk to you about a certain place that I love to visit, a place that I try to go to at least once a year. Even living in Montana, I try to do that. And of course, I'm talking about Disneyland. And I was thinking because they've been closed for, God, how long has it been? It's going to be like almost a year pretty soon. I think it was like in March of 2020 that they closed their doors. I haven't been able to go. I miss the place to death. I love it there. I just go there and I feel like a kid, you know, and that's what this show is all about, taking you back to the good old days of when you were a kid, or, you know, just make you feel like a kid at heart. And the park always did that for me. So I'm going to play some audio of my trips to Disneyland. This is a little segment I was actually wanting to do from my other podcast, Saturday Morning Rewind, playing little segments, playing little audio clips of each ride, playing little interviews with celebrities talking about Disneyland that I've done. And I was thinking, you know, it kind of fits maybe better for this channel, Be Kind Rewind. So I'm going to play it here for you guys, and hopefully it'll take you back to your childhood or just make you feel like a kid again. So Disneyland opened on July 17th, 1955 in Anaheim, California. My first time there would have been, I don't remember the exact month, I think it's like September, October-ish of 1987 when I was 7 years old. At the time, I was living in Reno, and we decided to drive from Reno to Anaheim, which I think is roughly about 9 hours. Last time I took it, it's about 9 hours, give or take, you know, traffic and everything. And we drove there, stayed at one of the neighborhood hotels across the street from the park. And I remember walking through the gates and just looking around, and I was just amazed with everything. If you've never been, you walk down the main street, and they have these little like air things coming out of the bakeries. And so all the smells are being pumped into the streets of Disneyland, and so it really makes you want to go. It's there so you go inside and buy something to eat. That's why it's there. But it just feels so homey. It just feels so cool walking down those streets of Disneyland and looking through the windows, seeing them prepare desserts and bakery items from inside the stores. And the first piece of audio I'm going to play is from Main Street itself. Here's Main Street, USA and Disneyland. So that right there is just a little bit of sample of Main Street. I don't want to bore you to death because it's not a ride. You know, I do have rides I'm going to play for you guys, and that's why I would want to listen to this episode, because I love the audio from the Disneyland rides. And even Disney World, if you're a Disney World fan, you're welcome to. I've been there a couple times. I love that place too. But because Disneyland was the first place I went as a kid, I think I just like it a little bit better. And honestly, I'm more of a Walt Disney admirer, you know, the guy himself. And the fact that he had so much involvement in Disneyland, the building of it, the maintenance of it, preparing for new rides, going and creating different attractions to bring to Disneyland. That's why I love Disneyland just a little bit more than Disney World. But I'm not a hater. I love Disney World too. So I think we're going to take a quick break, but before I do, I'm going to play a little bit of audio from an interview that I did with Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy, and Jason Marsden, the voice of Max Goof from a Goofy movie, and we're talking about Disneyland. I did this interview, I don't remember how long ago. I think it's been 3 to 4 years now, and you'll find the full episode on my other podcast, Saturday Morning Rewind. So enjoy, and we'll see you after the break.
I had one of my special, well, it didn't happen that long ago. We were doing remotes from Disneyland, and I was very tired, and I have about 4 hours off, and I needed to take a break, and there was only one place to sleep, and that was with Walt's apartment above the fire station.
That's awesome.
I had a chaperone, because they make sure I don't take Walt's stuff or whatever, but I got to sleep on Walt's bed and take a nap there. Not many people get to do that, and that was very special.
My first time ever coming here, it was like 1987, and my friend, when I first moved to LA, my friend across the street, his name is Jeff Smith, and we're still friends today. He's a cast member, but his dad was a cast member, and they're like, hey, you want to take a day off of school and come to Disneyland? So I asked my parents. Luckily, they said yes, and so I got to be here, and that's when the Skyways were still here, and the Carousel of Progress was still here. So I got to, like, a little bit of OG Disneyland back in the day. Yeah. Before there was DCA, it was a parking lot. I sound like an old man when I come here now. I'm like, there used to be a parking lot where you're riding on.
Allison is perfect. I mean, she'd never tell you that. She's humble and perfect. She likes everyone. She even likes her untidy roommate's weird guinea pig. Allison, wait, are you texting and driving? Allison, no, that's the exact opposite of what I was just saying about you. Why, Allison, why? Texting and driving makes good people look bad. Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org, brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Paul George of the Indiana Pacers. When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke. So I want you to learn to spot a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. I'm Paul George. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart and don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. For help keeping yours at a healthy range, text PRESSURE to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. Take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media. Listen live and explore more great shows at phenixmedia.us.
to Be Kind Rewind with Tim Nydell, taking you on a little mini, I guess, cheap vacation too. This is like a cheap vacation. You guys owe me some money for this, by the way. Taking you on a little audio vacation to Disneyland Resort in Anaheim, California. Since we can't go there ourselves, since it's been closed for nearly a year now, we're going back on a little audio vacation to Disneyland. And we're going to continue on. And, I wasn't going to do it this early, but I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take you guys on my all-time favorite attraction inside Disney, inside all the Disney parks, and that is the Haunted Mansion, an attraction that opened on October 1st, 1971. Now, it was in the beginning stages right around Walt's death, so he was involved in the creation of it. It was going to be a totally different thing, totally different look, and in fact, if you've been there before, you go in there and you sit in the Doom buggies. That's what they call it, Doom buggies. And it's a sitting ride where you can't really get off. You can't do anything. They initially wanted to be a walking ride where you walk around, but they changed that, and I'm so glad they did, because it wouldn't be the same if you could walk around and enjoy, certain segments of it more than you should, because I think it just gives you a perfect amount of time when you go down one of the Doom buggies up into the attic, going, during the birthday scene, the ballroom scene, which is probably my favorite, I think, of the whole attraction. Maybe tied with the cemetery. I love seeing new things when I go into the cemetery scene, seeing new ghosts or new things that move that I didn't see the first 100 times of me being on the ride. So here's some audio from that attraction, from the Haunted Mansion.
Hinges creak in doorless chambers, and strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls. Whenever candlelights flicker, where the air is deathly still, that is the time when ghosts are present, practicing their terror with ghoulish delight. The Haunted Mansion. I am your host, your ghost host.
Have to go to Italy?
Kindly step all the way in, please, and make room for everyone. There's no turning back now. Our tour begins here in this gallery, where you see paintings of some of our guests as they appeared in their corruptible, mortal state.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly drag your bodies away from the walls to the dead center of the room to view the portraits above and how they have met their doom.
Your cadaverous pallor betrays an aura of foreboding, almost as though you sense a disquieting metamorphosis. Is this haunted room actually stretching? Or is it your imagination? And consider this dismaying observation. This chamber has no windows and no doors. Which offers you this chilling challenge to find a way out. Of course, there's always my way. Oh, I didn't mean to frighten you prematurely.
I'm like trying to be harmony here.
The real chills come later. Now, as they say, look alive. Do not pull down on the safety bar. I bring no report. And heed this warning. The spirits will materialize only if you remain safely seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside and watch your children, please.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del vehículo y cuide a los pequeñitos. Y ahora, prepárese.
We find it delightfully unlivable here in this ghostly retreat. Every room has wall-to-wall creeps and hot and cold running chills. Listen.
Let there be music from regions beyond. Wizards and witches, wherever you dwell, give us a hint by ringing a bell. Serpents and spiders, hail of a rat, call in the spirits wherever they're at. Rasputin, it's time to respond.
Happy haunts have
Send us a message.
vibrations. They are beginning to materialize. They're assembling for you. Swinging away. They'll be expecting me. I'll see you later. do, Bucky. We will proceed in just a moment. We have been unavoidably detained by Frankie's spirits. Kindly remain seated in your doom buggy, please. We will continue our tour momentarily.
I spend a lot of time in the backyard, and I'm the center of attention at summer barbecues. In '96, I made some of the tastiest s'mores. And in '09, it was me, your backyard fire pit, that accidentally started a wildfire when a summer breeze carried one of my embers into some dry brush.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
My name is Lola Silvestri, and I'm going to be 95 this year. I was very independent. I fell, and I had to have Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see, every moment can be kind of special. But they could be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Now more than ever, family matters, and Surratt Law Practice has your family in mind. Kimberly Surratt and her team have been helping maintain healthy families through their holistic approach to adoption and surrogacy, child custody, estate planning, and more for over 13 years. Your family law concerns are in caring hands with Surratt Law. Schedule your private consultation with a compassionate Surratt Law Practice team member today by calling 775-636-8200 or visiting lawyersforfamilies.com. Surratt Law, where family matters.
The storks are bringing me a baby brother! We can do this together!
All right, let's go!
Storks know how to keep kids safe. Do you?
What?
Oh my gosh, you don't know!
I know!
You don't! Oh man, you laugh when you're uncomfortable.
No! Making sure your child is in the right car seat is one of the steps to safer travel.
I will rock this!
You will rock this!
To know for sure that your child is in the right car seat for their age and size, visit safercar.gov/the right seat. Cool. Very cool. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. Separated. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
Idea how to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
the most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Message.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Listen live at fenixmedia.us.
This next interview, again, was part of my other podcast, Saturday Morning Rewind. It's with the one and only Jim Cummings, very huge voice actor in the industry. Of course, you may know him as Darkwing Duck, and he also voices Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too. And he's been on my other podcast, I think it's been 5 times now, which is a record for anybody on my show. Big fan of his work, and he likes, he enjoys my show too. That's why he comes back on. And here we are talking about Disneyland, of course.
Do you have a favorite Disneyland memory or moment?
Oh my gosh. I have probably way too many. I've got 4 daughters, and they all center around them. Let's see, I moved to California when I was no, not that old. I was younger than that. But anyway, so I've been here for most of my life, and I've been taking my daughters, all four of them, to Disneyland all of their life. So there are probably so many moments that I couldn't even begin to recall them all. But I know that taking, pushing them around and having so much excitement and so much, I've always videotaped us going in, and they're on fire, they're bouncing off the walls, and then by the time we're leaving, they're in the strollers, and they're, and I always videotape that. And now at this point, whether someone's in Florida or here, there's a sort of a mini tradition that one of them, because I have two adult daughters, and then I have two that are still in grade school, and so and sometimes they've all gone together. And what they'll do is they'll go on the Winnie the Pooh ride, and they'll call me from inside the ride and say, "Hey, Dad, guess where we are?" Then they'll hold the phone up in the air, and I'll hear myself in the background going, "Hey there, Pooh, watch out over there." And I'll say, "Let me take a wild guess. You're inside the Winnie the Pooh ride. How did you know?" And it's just a joke.
That's hilarious.
So it's an ongoing thing, It's an ongoing memory maker for us.
Do you ever whip out the voice whenever you meet one of the characters?
I haven't. I have in the past, but it's so funny that you say that because I hadn't been there in a long time. In fact, all my kids have been going, with mom or friends or cousins or but I realized at this point that it was 2015 was the first time that I was at Disney World a couple times, but I hadn't been to Disneyland since 1999, and I was thinking, gosh, this is crazy. And we went there last April, and then of course just a couple weeks ago as well, and it was just so great. And I saw the upgrades, and the Pirates of the Caribbean is different, and this and that. And as I'm walking around, I'm hearing myself coming out from speakers, and 3 or 4 times in this parade, and once or twice on this announcement, and then I'm over here and I'm walking up to the ride, the Winnie the Pooh ride, and we walked into the courtyard where it's Sleeping Beauty's castle, and I don't know if you've ever seen the bands that walk around. They're like a 5 or 6 piece band. They'll have a drummer and a tuba player and a trumpet player and an old time semi marching band, sort of like the old 1920s state fair bands that stroll around. And they all looked at me, all the guys in the band, and the band leader went, "I want 2, 3, 4." They started playing the Tigger song, and I looked, and they were all staring at me, and my daughter Gracie goes, "Daddy, they know who you are." And I said, "Wow." And I looked at them, and I point at myself, and they all shake their heads up and down, nod their heads. Yep. How you doing? Then they finished the song. And we went over and said hello, and they all knew who I was, and it was weird. Because I don't have a sense of that. I think with the internet and because I don't do any on camera. I mean, occasionally, every now and then, I did the Craig Ferguson show a couple years ago, but I'm not an on camera guy. So I'm not used to people just, "Oh my gosh, look who it is." It's an odd thing for me. But apparently at Disneyland, I'm really well known. We went to Club 33. A friend extended a visit for us there, and we went in. And I had been there before, and I assume you know what that is. That's the club, right? And I had been there before it was remodeled 2 years ago for a visit to Club 33 only. It was after Disneyland was closed, and then I just went there this time around again, and it's completely redone, and the managers were giving us a tour, and he said, "Well, listen, I'm curious, can you tell it's been redone?" And I go, "Oh my God, it's unbelievable, it's amazing." He says, "Well, does any of this feel familiar?" And I go, "Actually, I feel like I'm in New Orleans." He goes, "Yeah, that's right, keep going." And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And we walk into the bar and the lounge, and I said, "Gosh, it's this decor." And he looks at me and he says, "We basically modeled it after Tiana's place from Princess and the Frog." I said, "No, you didn't." He says, "Oh yeah." And sure enough, there's a 4-piece band playing on the wall, sax player, trumpet, and of course it's still Disney. So the sax player on the wall, there's music playing in the air, you can hear it, and all of a sudden the sax player disappears from the painting. The saxophone in the painting is hovering in the air. The other three players are still going. The trombone, the tuba, and the trumpet player are still there, but the sax player vanished. And he reappears behind the bar where they have a saxophone mounted on the wall, and he starts playing that saxophone as a hologram, a la the Haunted Mansion.
Uh-huh.
They take him out of the painting and put a hologram of him playing behind the bar. Then they did it with the trombone player behind the bar. And it was so magical, and I just couldn't believe it. You know, my little girls' heads were exploding, and there's pictures in the booths of these beautiful paintings of the bayou, and you realize that this one painting has got this little shack out there, this little bayou shack, and the smoke rising out of the chimney is moving. It's actually on right now. There's smoke rising of it actively.
Wow.
And it's just went on and on and on, and sure enough, we sat down and tried to have dinner. And the kids' menu, they said, "Would you like a kids' menu?" And they're all kind of looking at me for my reaction. I said, "Sure, yeah." You know, I have my little girl there, Gracie and Lulu, 10 and 8, and they hand us kids' menu. And on the kids' menu is Ray from Princess and the Frog. And I'm going, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" And they're all looking around, laughing, and you know, and I assume a couple of people knew who I was, and we just had a great time. And we're getting ready to leave. And one of the waiters who had just gotten off duty came up and he goes, Mr. Cummings, I'm really breaking protocol here. I could totally get in so much trouble, but if it's okay, please, can I get a picture with you? And I said, "Oh, yeah, I can't believe that you know who I am." He says, "You have got to be kidding me." I said, "No, I think that's very flattering, but sure, I'll do that." And he goes, "Mr. Cummings, what? Every single person who works here knows who you are."
Oh, wow.
And I said, "What?" And I look around, and I look at the bartender, and I look at the head waiter, and I look at the maitre d', and I look at the cashier, and I look at the waitress, this waiter, that waiter, this waiter, and they're all staring and looking at me, smiling. And I went, "Wow!" So next thing I know, we're taking pictures with everybody in the whole restaurant.
Wow.
Oh, man. I love Jim Cummings. And by the way, he does also voice Ray in Princess and the Frog. That's why he mentions that. And listening to that, I'm reminded how bad some of my audio used to be on my other podcast. I promise you, it's gotten a lot better since those days. It's one of my early Jim Cummings interviews. Nowadays, I use everything on my computer. Back then, I record everything on my cell phone. So I promise you, it's gotten better since then. So go check out my other show. I guarantee it's a good time. And I figured since he was talking about the Winnie the Pooh ride, here is my time on Winnie the Pooh.
A little bear named Winnie the Pooh set off in search of money.
Right in here somewhere. Look back over there.
First the wind, and now this.
This is fun! Goodness gracious! Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Party, boy. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, boy.
Delicious. You'll never guess what it is.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school, so I'm trying to break that barrier. My daughter Brooklyn was also a motivation for me to go back to school. Every day after work, went straight to school, and it paid off.
At age 26, Kareem finished his high school diploma.
I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
What if I told you that a tornado was going to happen tomorrow, right where you live? That it would touch down at exactly 3:17 p.m., and I told you the exact path it would take. You would, of course, prepare. You would talk with your loved ones, and you'd make a plan today. It's true, I can't tell you a tornado will strike tomorrow, but shouldn't you have a plan anyway? Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Fenix Media, the future of broadcasting. Explore more great shows at fenixmedia.us.
Man, I can't believe our time is almost up for this episode. I've had a lot of fun doing it, playing the old clips that I recorded a handful of years ago on one of my many adventures inside Disneyland. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it too. Remember, check me out online, timnydell.com. And I think I'm going to close out this episode with my second all-time favorite attraction inside the park. Sometimes it could be my first, depending on, what mood I'm in the day I go into the park. But usually it's my second favorite. And I'm talking about Pirates of the Caribbean, part of New Orleans Square. And the ride opened March 18th, 1967. Now, there is a little behind the scenes of this audio clip that I recorded. I recorded it about, I think it's 4 years ago. Me and my buddy Christian came from Montana. We drove to go to the park, and we're in line to go on Pirates. And there's maybe about 30, 40 people behind us, so it wasn't too busy. I think it was during one of the fireworks shows, so nobody was really going to the rides. And the girl signals us to go up there, and she puts us in the second row. And if you've ever been in the park, you know that it's a big boat that holds I don't really know. I think it's about 30 people that it can hold, maybe more. And we're on the second row, and she tells the boat to go. And Christian and I were, are we going to ride by ourselves? Because that's going to be totally awesome. Because usually, you know, crowds ruin the experience, especially when you get locals, the pass holders that go every single day, and they quote every single line every time, as you can hear in my Haunted Mansion clip that I played earlier in this episode. They can ruin your experience sometimes. So it's really cool to be by ourselves. So that's why when you listen, it's got like crystal clear audio with hardly any background noise. So yeah, I think that's going to conclude this episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it like I did making it. And I'm going to close it out with Pirates of the Caribbean. See you guys next time.
Tales that be appointed this customs. brave or good enough to face the powers of sea.
And now, you bilge rats, do I hear six? Who makes it six?
Six it be. 6 bottles of rum. I'm not sponging for rum. It be gold I'm at.
What I wouldn't give to see the look on Captain Jack Sparrow's face when he hears tell 'tis only me what's got the goods. Keep still. I'm studying me map.
Come on now, be a nice little pussycat. Oh, you'll be a nice one, you mean?
It's us what beats the ruddy up, not them roasted lovers. Roasted fucking picking pirate.
People building not exhausted record and cur. Here be sport. That's about a nice juicy battle. Out of here.
A toast to piracy and its many shiny reward. There's a career what can be more rewarding. Drink up and me hardest yo-ho. I humbly accept this magnificent treasure as my reward for a life of villainy, larceny, skullduggery, and deceit.
None shall escape.
On your way now, and tell the world you set sail with Blackbeard.
When the excuse